What if your phone isn't stealing your time, but slowly training you to escape your own life? You're bored? You scroll. You're stressed? You scroll. You have 5 minutes to spare? You scroll. And somehow, an hour disappears before you even realize it. The scary part? You may not even be enjoying it anymore. You're just looking for the next thing to watch. But this isn't about deleting your phone or having more willpower. It's about breaking the loop that's keeping you stuck. In this video, I'll show you 5 simple ways to stop scrolling, reclaim your attention, and start feeling present in your own life again. And the 5th one may completely change the way you think about your phone. 1. Make scrolling slightly harder. Here's a question. Why is your phone always within arm's reach? On your desk, beside your bed, in your pocket, next to you while you're watching TV? When something is that easy to access, you don't need a strong reason to use it. You just need a moment of boredom. That's why the first step isn't willpower, it's friction. Move social media apps off your home screen. Turn off unnecessary notifications. Log out of the apps you compulsively check. Charge your phone somewhere away from your bed. And when you're working, put it physically out of reach. These sound ridiculously simple. That's the point. You're not trying to win a psychological battle every 5 minutes. You're changing the environment so the battle happens less often. Because when a behavior becomes harder to start, you're less likely to repeat it automatically. But eventually, the urge will still appear, and that's where the second strategy comes in. 2. Don't obey the urge immediately. The next time you feel the impulse to check your phone, don't tell yourself, "I can never scroll again." That's dramatic. Instead, try something much smaller. Wait 10 minutes. Tell yourself, "I can check it later, just not right now." Then continue whatever you were doing. Why does this help? Because an urge isn't a command, it's a temporary feeling. You're creating a gap between wanting something and doing something, and that gap is where self-control grows. You don't need to eliminate every craving. You need to prove to yourself that you can experience one without immediately obeying it. After you resist the urge a few times, your phone starts losing some of its automatic power over you. But there's another problem. Sometimes you're not actually addicted to the phone. You're addicted to what the phone helps you avoid. 3. Find out what you're escaping. Think about the moments when you scroll the most. When you're stressed, lonely, bored, when work feels difficult, or when you're sitting alone with your thoughts. That's important, because sometimes scrolling isn't the real problem. It's the escape route. Imagine you sit down to work. The task feels overwhelming, so you open your phone for a second. Suddenly, you're watching a video about someone organizing their refrigerator. You don't even care about refrigerators. But now you don't have to think about the difficult task in front of you. Your mind found an exit. So the next time you catch yourself scrolling, ask, what am I trying not to feel right now? Boredom? Stress? Uncertainty? Loneliness? Resistance? You don't have to fix the feeling immediately. Just notice it. Because once you understand what you're escaping, you can deal with the actual problem. Maybe you need a break. Maybe the task needs to be made smaller. Maybe you're exhausted. Or maybe you're simply uncomfortable doing something difficult. And that leads to the 4th shift. Because if you remove scrolling without replacing it with anything meaningful, you'll eventually crawl right back to it. 4. Make real life more rewarding. This is the part people often overlook. They delete Instagram, block TikTok, turn off notifications, and then sit on the couch thinking, okay, now what? That's an entertainment vacuum. If your phone provides endless novelty while real life gives you nothing to look forward to, you'll eventually return to the easiest source of stimulation. So don't just remove stimulation, build better alternatives. Go for a walk. Cook something you've never made before. Read a few pages. Play a sport. Call a friend. Work on a hobby. Make plans that give you something to look forward to. And remember, not everything enjoyable needs to be productive. Your hobby doesn't need to become a side hustle. Your free time doesn't need to make you money. Sometimes you can simply do something because you enjoy it. Because when every moment has to produce something, life starts feeling like work, and then you escape back into your phone. But there's one final shift. Because even with better habits, you can still lose hours if you haven't changed the way you see your attention. 5. Start treating your attention like your life. Think about what scrolling actually consumes. Not just minutes, attention. And attention is what you use to experience your life, your relationships, your work, your hobbies, your conversations, your memories, your thoughts. Every day you have a limited amount of attention. So when you spend an hour jumping from one short video to another, you're not simply losing an hour. You're giving away pieces of your ability to focus. And here's the uncomfortable question. If someone looked at how you spent your attention this week, would they see the life you actually want? Or would they see hundreds of moments where you were somewhere else? This doesn't mean your phone is evil. The goal isn't to become anti-technology. The less is to become intentional. Before you start scrolling, ask, did I choose this, or did I just reach for it? Because there's a huge difference between choosing to watch a video for 20 minutes and realizing 45 minutes later that you've been scrolling without even remembering why you started. One is entertainment, the other is autopilot, and you want to get your choice back. Now put those 5 strategies together. Make scrolling harder, delay the urge, notice what you're trying to escape, build better alternatives, and become intentional with your attention. Slowly, something bigger starts to happen. You stop reaching for your phone every time life gets quiet. You become more present. You notice your surroundings, and real life starts feeling interesting again. Not because life suddenly became more exciting, but because you're finally present enough to experience it. That's the real goal. Not spending 0 time on your phone, not deleting every social media app, not becoming a productivity machine. It's simply choosing where your attention goes. So the next time you reach for your phone without even thinking, pause and ask, what do I actually want right now? Because when you stop living on autopilot, you don't just get your time back, you get your life back. Your attention is your life. So make sure you're spending it on something you actually want to remember. If you want more videos about taking back your attention and building a life you don't constantly need to escape from, subscribe.